Hey everyone, what is up? I'm Ivan Gomes and this is the third episode of Code with me. If you haven't subscribed to the web schools yet, make sure to do that before we start the video so you don't miss the next episodes. Today we are going to speak about how to deploy your web application. I'm going to be showing you one example with reactjs, and the method is going to be exactly the same for Vue.js as well. And we're going to be doing that with Firebase, which nowadays I think it's just the easiest and quickest method to deploy your applications. Not to mention that if you want to make it more complex later, you have access to a real-time database and user authentication out of the box. By the way, if you haven't watched my user authentication tutorial with Firebase yet, I'm leaving the link at the top right corner of this video, so make sure to check it out if you want to learn how to do the authentication process or the login process for your websites from start to finish. For this example, I'm going to be using the project that we built together in the previous episode, which is this stopwatch made with reactjs. As you can see, this is running locally. So we are going to publish this online so we can show this project to whoever we want. We can post it on LinkedIn or do whatever we want with it. So let's go to console.firebase.google.com. Make sure to be logged into your Gmail account. If you don't have one yet, make sure to create a new Gmail account. And before you create your Firebase project, just click the avatar button at the top right corner of the screen and select the correct account in which you want to create this project. So now I have the correct Gmail account selected. I'm going to add a new project and I'm going to name this React Stopwatch. Let's continue. I'm not going to enable Google Analytics for now. Let's just create the project. This is going to take up to a minute, so let me speed up the video. All right, the project is now ready. Let's click continue. And now this is the dashboard for our project. If you go inside build, you are going to have a few options, including the Firestore database if you want to add a database to your project later. You also have authentication in case you want to enable your users to log in and off of your platform. But today, we're just going to be talking about hosting. So we go inside here and let's go to get started. The first thing we need to do is to install the Firebase tools so we can deploy our application using the command line. So I'm going to copy the code. Let's go to Visual Studio Code. This is the stopwatch project. So let me just go to terminal, new terminal, and now we can run that command to install the Firebase tools. We have the -g flag, which means we are going to install it globally. So if you want to deploy other applications, you won't have to install it again. You just have to install it one time in your machine. Now I'm seeing an error here. This is probably because of permissions. I'm using a Mac. So if you're using a Mac, you can just use sudo and then run the rest of the commands. You're going to be prompted to type in your password. And once you do it, you're going to be able to install it. I'm not going to do it now because actually I already have the Firebase tools here. I just wanted to show you how to run the command. So let's go back there. Let's go to next. Now we need to run Firebase login so we can log into Firebase from the command line and be able to do the deployment. So you can come here and you can type Firebase login. If you're not logged in yet, this is going to open a new tab on your browser for you to authorize the login. In this case, I have already done that, so we can see that I'm already logged in. So going back there, now the last thing we need to do here is to run the Firebase init command. So I'm going to type it here. This is going to init a Firebase project, and we can choose multiple things at the same time with spacebar. So if you want real-time database, you can press spacebar to select it, go to other options and select them as well. In this case, I'm not going to be using real-time database. We're just going to be using hosting. So that's it for now. I'm just going to press enter And now it's asking me if I want to create a new Firebase project or use an existing one. Since we already created one from the Firebase dashboard, we can choose use an existing project. And now that we are logged in, we're going to have a list of all the projects we have on Firebase. In this case, here it is, the React stopwatch project I just created. So let me press enter. And now it's asking me what is the folder where the build files are going to be. In this case, this is not going to be the public folder, but I'm going to leave it as it is because it is important for you to know where can you change this later if you need. So I'm just going to press enter. Now for this, we can just leave the default option. Same thing for GitHub. With this method that I'm showing you, you can also set up automatic deploys on GitHub whenever you do a push to the main branch, but that's not a subject for now. So let's leave it in the default value, which is no. We press enter and now this is done. So from now on, deploying our web applications is going to be extremely simple. So let's do a quick test. Before we do that, remember that when working with a React application, we have the source folder, but these are not the files that we are going to deploy to Firebase. In order to deploy a React or a Vue.js application, we need to build it first. So for that, you can just go to your package.json file, and we can see that the build script is vite build. So we can use vite build. Now, when doing that, as you can see, a new folder called dist has been created. And these are the files that we want to upload to the server. Now, remember when we were prompted to enter the folder we want to publish, we set it at public. But it's not the public folder that we want to publish. We want to publish the dist folder. So I just wanted to show you that it's very easy for you to change that configuration. You just have to go to firebase.json. And as you can see, this is where we are telling what is the folder we want to publish. In this case, it's not public, but dist. So whenever we deploy this application, we are going to send everything we have inside the dist folder, which is the build files. And we are going to publish that to the server on Firebase. So now this is all we had to do of configuration. The next step is just run Firebase deploy whenever we want to deploy it. So I can just go to the terminal and run Firebase deploy. And now as you can see, this is giving us the live URL for the project. We can go to the web browser and paste it right here. And as you can see, our application has been published immediately. This is working live. You can use this link to post on your LinkedIn, on your CV, send it to your friends, do whatever you want with it. Let's test this out. We can see that the stopwatch is working. So this is how you use Firebase to deploy your applications. Now let's just make a quick test. Let's do a change to the project. So I'm going to go to the app.jsx. I'm going to change the age one to React stopwatch in Firebase. So now I just did this change. Since we need to upload the build files, not the source files, remember to always rebuild your application. So I'm going to run vite build again. And now I'm going to run Firebase deploy. Now going to the web browser and refreshing the page, we can see the change we just did reflecting in the live URL. So this is how you can publish your React.js applications. And this method works exactly the same for Vue.js. So that was all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Ivan Gomes. This is Code With Me. Don't forget to subscribe to the Web School so you don't miss the next episodes. So that was all for today. I'll see you next time.